Hello, dear listener, and welcome again to Raven Insight. I am Lyons, your host for this channel, and this is a place where we like to come together to talk about ideas around higher consciousness, spiritual development, help each other through these hard times, get through job burnout, and all the struggles that we deal with nowadays. This is where I discuss my own journey, my own philosophies, the things that I have gone through, and try to give you perspective so that as you start your own journeys, you have a little guidance from somebody who's not only gone through it, but continues to go through it. I've mentioned it before, the spiritual journey is not a straight line. It tends to happen in cycles. A lot of things in this world are cycles, circles and cycles and frequencies, which I will talk about more in depth in the future. But today I want to talk about concepts around fear and love. It's hard for me actually to pick a topic from day to day when I do this. As you can tell, I do it extemporaneously. I set up the camera when I'm ready to talk, and I just put myself in a place of divine quiet, and I just let the words come to me. You know, it's what they would call in pagan traditions, in more pagan traditions, the voice or the galder of the raven, right? The guiding voice of the raven. In Christian terms, it would be the voice of the Holy Spirit, or the Tao in Taoism, or the Zen or the flow of Buddhism. But it's the idea, and again, I'm speaking to my atheistic, agnostic friends who are here to point at me and go, "You're a fool who believe in these old tired traditions." And I was once that guy too, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm the fool who came back to it. All right. So I get it. And so if you can't believe in the big guy in the sky with the white beard and stuff, I get it. Totally reasonable, because I don't anthropomorphize God in that way either, quite honestly. And I believe that humans understand God through metaphor. And through God, I'm just talking about the universe and our connection to it. So a lot of it is allegory and metaphor, and a lot of it can be understood on a logical and psychological level. But there's like the physical, the psychological, mental, spiritual. It all goes up, and you can take it or leave my advice at any different level that it works for you. The most important thing is that it works for you. And the reason I say this pulling of divinity is because I don't know what I'm going to talk about from day to day. And when I started this channel, I was so full of ideas. My problem's actually not coming up with content, it's editing my content. Because I just want to talk about it all. I just want to talk about it all. Everything I've learned, everything I've discovered, and just share it with you. And I specifically want to share it with you because I'm not looking for any validation from you. In the last two videos, I spoke a little bit about validation, and I talked about times in my life where I looked to be validated from my parents, my employers, partners, whatever. We're always looking for that external validation. But for this channel, for instance, which has become one of the most important things in my life at the current time, because this is the way that I'm working through my struggles and processing. This is my way of creating work content so that people can see what I'm up to. This is my way of demonstrating thought leadership to show that I can think, right? So there's all these tangential benefits. And maybe I won't become a huge YouTube star that makes billions of dollars, but I don't really care so much about that. I care about healing myself, and I care about healing others. And somewhere there's somebody who's struggling, who's looking for something. They saw the name of my thumbnail and they're like, whatever, and they clicked on it, and you're listening to my message, and you're the person who had to hear it today. And that's the weirdness of the universe. That's that divine calling. That's that internal connection. And whether it's just the billiard ball causality of the universe, whether it's the fact that we are all connected because we're made of all the same atomic, subatomic, quantum material, or whether there's some great driver to the universe that has some higher consciousness bringing us to it. The fact is, you're here. So welcome. And the topic I'm going to talk about is short and sweet, but it's very important, and it's really the core of other things. And you see me struggling with my phone today. It's flipping all over. But I wanted to change my background, and I know my face is a little shaded because the sun's at my back, but I wanted you to see the river here. And just so you know, this is the St. Lawrence River. It's about 1.5 miles across here. It's about 200 feet deep in the middle. That's Canada on the other side. The sun will be setting up here in the very near future. So I thought, you know, if I ramble and my content's not good and what I speak about, maybe we'd at least have a nice sky. But the sun's actually right there, and we're still about an hour out from sunset itself. But again, I just thought this was a better backdrop than the garage. But I'm gonna have to be fighting with this because of the wind, because it is the mighty river, and there's a lot of power. I've seen some stuff with this water, a lot of power here, and it just, even this light breeze is blowing stuff all over the place. So bear with me, and I hope the wind's not too bad on the microphone. I know that can be a problem too. But fear and love. And this is really the key of a lot of the components that we've been talking about thus far, right? At the very beginning, the very first thing I said, I gave you guys the spoilers to the answers of it all, and ultimately it comes down to love, right? We have to become so attuned and in line and in touch with ourselves. We have to be sure we're complete and we're whole, that we have reassembled ourselves. We have either destroyed the ego that is holding us back, or we've reincorporated that shadow self to a point sufficient enough where we're complete in ourselves, where we're no longer grabbing validation from others, right? And going back to what I started saying about that validation earlier, I do this channel for us. In the past, I would have told my parents, I would have told my friends, I would have told everybody, oh, what a cool, shiny new thing I got going on. This is so super important to me. But I haven't told anybody. This is between me and you guys. And why? Because I don't want their validation. And worse than that, I don't want them telling me it's nuts. I don't want them yucking my yum, and I don't want them telling me that this isn't the way to go, because deep in my heart, I know it is. And I feel so confident in that I don't have to seek that validation. And it feels so good to have this just be my secret, that I'm just sitting here being a beacon of light to people that I don't even know, that I'm just shining this out in the world just for the sake of doing it. And that's how I know it's not about my ego, because I'm not getting any ego satisfaction out of this at all. I'm looking at my numbers. No one's watching these videos, but I don't care. I'm still so passionate to come out and keep doing them. In fact, when I'm done with these videos for the rest of the day, after expending this divine energy and saying the messages, I'm so tired. I have to like crash out for like an hour or so. It's exhausting, but it's blissful. And I want that for you. And that is love. That's the love we're trying to get to. The love of creation. The love that does not seek validation, right? And so, love is the goal. That's what we're working towards. That's what we're seeking. And it's the pure, true love of everything, of all things, of all people, all creatures, all situations, acceptance of everything for what it is. And that is one of the hardest things that we're ever going to have to do. And all the sufferings in our life ultimately equate to lessons that the universe is giving us so that we can learn how to love. Learn how to love, because it isn't easy. Now, on the other side of love is fear. Now, sit with that for a second. The other side of love is fear. A lot of people think the other side of love is hate, but it's not. You can't truly hate somebody unless you once loved them or love was involved. Like, you can't hate Hitler. I mean, you dislike the man, but you don't know him personally. The person who might truly hate the man is someone whose grandparent or parent died personally due to the Nazi regime. They might hate him, but because they loved the people who died. For all of us who were born years on and years later, and we watch the war footage and the horrors of the Holocaust and such, we dislike him. We know he's a bad man and he's someone to be loathed and hated. But that doesn't necessarily mean we generate hate per se from our body. We're not wasting our days. We're not wasting our energies. We don't hate Hitler or Osama bin Laden or insert villain here in the same way we hate, say, an ex-partner who spurned us or wronged us, right? It's a different emotive experience. So the other side of love isn't hate. Hate's actually tied to love. Fear is the other side of love. And Yoda sort of articulated it well, where he's like, fear leads to anger, and anger leads to hate, and hate leads to the dark side. But that kind of hate, expressed out of anger, is more of a malice. It's not, again, I will die saying that you have to love before you can truly hate, because it's tied together. But fear is the other side of love. Fear is what prevents us from loving, okay? Fear is the sword that the ego uses to cleave you in two, thus creating the shadow self. Sit with that. It's fear that the ego uses to cleave you in two and create the shadow self. Well, what do I mean by that? You're going out there and singing because you like to sing because it's a nice song. But the fear of singing in public and people telling you that your songs suck and that you sing off key and you'll be humiliated cleaves you so that shadow part of you hides at home and does not sing in front of others. The side of you that is the artist and loves art and loves to do paintings, but won't show other people out of fear that they will say your paintings suck. You suck. You are no good. Your emotive expression means nothing to me. Your fear holds back your love. So much of what we do in our life to hold us back, so much of what creates the shadow within us is fear. Why don't we go after our passions? It's fear. Why don't we become like rock star musicians rather than desk workers? Fear that that's not a more profitable way to go in life. Why don't we go after that girl or guy that we like, right? Because it's fear that they will be rejected, and that fear overrides our love. If we come from a place of love and we do things out of love, it is a place of inspiration. Everything that you do out of fear is an act of protection. So that's how they are opposite ends of the spectrum, and we actually see this in business a lot. Fear-based decision making tends to be very defensive. It's like we can't add on personnel, we can't expand the company, we have to stay with the known, we have to stay with the status quo. Love is passion. I'm not a huge Apple guy, but I will give Steve Jobs credit for his passion and his vision, and he's out there going, no, we're reinventing the way people listen to music. We reinvent people's relationship with their phones. We're going to reinvent social media. We're going to reinvent these things because that's passion. That's vision. Okay? So who does better? BlackBerry, who's like, well, we don't want to change. People like this. They like the physical keyboard. It's a known. It's a good product. We've been in the market. We're nice and stable. Or was it Apple when the iPhone came out and it just blew everyone's mind away and like redefined everything, right? So businesses make these decisions all the time. Fear makes us stay into the known. But it's love that creates the passions and the innovations that drive us to higher levels of being, higher levels of profitability in our company, and higher levels of existence even in our own personal relationships. If you stay with someone in a relationship out of fear of being alone, you're going to be unsatisfied, especially if they're abusive, especially if they're not carrying their weight emotionally in the relationship. Whereas if you love yourself enough to say, this isn't the right person for me and I'd rather be alone than be with them, then even if you aren't with another person, you have experienced freedom. And then if you go after someone because you truly love who they are in their being and not because you fear being alone, those are the relationships where you will come into true fulfillment with yourself. And those are the ones that really last. Those are the ones that are magical. When you have two complete people voluntarily coming to each other in a state of love to make things better. So when you're asking the questions about who am I and what is my value, when you answer these questions, ask yourself, did I come to this conclusion out of a place of love? Was it something I wanted to do? Was it something that drove me? Or did I come to this conclusion? Did I come to this realization? Did I write this story about myself, and did I put this mask on my face based on fear? And I think you will find, if you're in a bad place in your life, so much of it's because all these decisions have been defensive. They've been fear-based. I got to keep this shit job because I don't want to lose my house. I got to pay rent. I'm not gonna take the time to invest in myself and do this other training, because what if in looking for another job, my boss sees my job resume out there and I lose this one? Fear, 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 holding you back. Your own fear is allowing your boss to take control of you. And the problem is, we've done this as a society so collectively that we're in the issues we have now. We didn't love ourselves enough as workers to stick with unions and say, we have to fight for a working wage and vacations and benefits. We had the bosses come in and say, look, we got to kill these unions. We got to have right to work, because if we don't start paying you less, we're going to have no jobs, because they're all going to go to China. They're all going to go to India. So we got to start stripping you guys of your rights. We're going to have to start paying you less money, because it's either we pay you less and give you less, or we give you nothing. And people are like, I'll take less because I don't want to have nothing. And how did that work out for us all? Now we have no unions. Now we have no middle class. Our fear gave all of our jobs away to China and India anyways. You know when we were great in America? After World War II. Why? Because we said, we can do it. We can do it. Socialized healthcare in America, we can do it. Social Security, we can do it, right? The New Deal, the Marshall Program, we rebuilt Europe, right? We're like, the moon, we're going there, we're planting a flag, and that's passion. That's love. That's love for America. That's patriotism. Patriotism is love. Nationalism, what we have right now, is fear. When you're like, nope, not the other guy. Close the borders, close the trade, tariff this, tariff that. We can't compete. We're scared. We're in a box. America, America. That's what we're doing. You're not proudly shooting up an American rocket and landing a flag on the moon. You're hiding in the corner going, no, we're going to charge you guys a bunch of money because you can make stuff and we can't anymore. Fear. Okay. Do you want to make t-shirts for a living? Do you want to make sneakers for a living? Then start a sneaker factory, start a t-shirt factory. But the reason we gave all those jobs away to these countries is we didn't want them. We wanted software development jobs. We wanted like more advanced manufacturing jobs. We wanted to build the space shuttles and the airplanes and the cars. Like, our idea is we would go up to the next cool thing, and the thing that we mastered, we dumped off. Well, where's the next cool thing? Solar power, gave it to China, right? Like, alternate energies, electric cars, fast internets, all this stuff. We are lagging behind. Why? Fear, corporate fear. Oh, we got to be sure that we have a certain level of profitability for the shareholders this quarter, or we're all going to lose our jobs. Well, the easiest way to do that is to just fire everybody, not spend money in R&D and innovate. R&D is expensive. Can't do that. Fire more people. Slam AI in there and call it a day. Fear has not only destroyed us individually. Fear is the cause to many of our issues in society. There's the sun. Now you see it coming in. Let's see if I can catch it. That, my friends, is love. This, my friends, this is what we all have available to us. Being present in a moment like this. leaving all the stresses of tomorrow behind. Would you rather be in a cube or would you rather be here? Hear the sound of the boats, hear the sound of the waves, you hear the wind, you see the seabirds. This is life. This is what life could be. This is what life promises us when we live in love, not when we live in fear. So that's all I'm going to go on to today. I don't want to beat it to death. And as you can see, I'm struggling enough to keep my phone straight. And I know my production quality is terrible. And if I was full of fear, I'd say, better leave this one in the can and not stick it out there. But I'm not. Because I'm full of love. And I know that there's someone out there right now is going to jump up right now and say, thank you, Lines. That's what I needed to hear. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to get that girl. I'm going to get that job. I'm going to go out to dinner because it's been a month since I've actually had a good plate of food. Go out and do it and live your life. And let's have a better day today than we had yesterday. And then tomorrow can be even better than that. And when we start bringing positive love and energy around, when you're full of love and you're bringing energy around, it's going to be contagious. And my goal here is for you to be just so full of love and energy that you're a beacon of light that people can't help but smile around you. And I want it to be more contagious than Corona. I want them to get happy too. And I want them to smile too. And when people try to scare us on the news and in the media, and when politicians say it's got to be this way or we're all going to die, I want you all to say, no, there's always a better way. There's always a way forward and inspiration and love and higher level critical thinking than there is in reaction-based, fear-based thinking. Stop being afraid. What's the worst that can happen? You will die. You will die. You're going to die. You're gonna die someday. Every single last one of us on this planet, every single person you know, and the planet itself eventually will all go into non-existence. So nothing that you do is forever. Nothing that you do is so detrimental that it's gonna destroy the world for all time. There's very few things in this life outside of like killing or SAing somebody that you can do that's really gonna destroy you and your soul forever. So lighten up, man, and get out there and be a positive person, making positive change for positive reasons. And if we all do that together, we can sunset these dark times and create a new tomorrow full of light and love for everybody. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending 20-some minutes with me as I struggle with the camera in the high wind. Always a pleasure. I love you so much. It's easy for me to say that now. It wasn't always. Thank you for spending your time with me. Time is one of the most valuable things that we have. You can't make more of it. We all have a limited amount of it. And so when you spend it with me, it's very precious. And I want to say thank you. And I hope this leaves you feeling better and more positive today. And I hope you have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe. Come on back. Talk to me in the comments. If you want to reach out to me directly, feel free. I just love doing this. I want to do more of this. I want to do more of this with and for you. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.